We are on the section 3.4, page 54. Okay, we are going to talk about geometry a little bit. So, geometry is your sense of your surrounding, right? How long it takes you to walk from here to there, right? The distance, or how big the area is, right? Like your house, things like that. Or we are going to talk about, certain shapes. That's one-dimensional, two-dimensional. Then we live in what? Three-dimensional world, right? Because we go left and right and up and down. So we are going to measure all those. But we started from the basic one. So if you have a rectangle shape, right? So how you are going to measure it? So if I have tables, I have a table like here is 3 feet, 5 feet. How we are going to describe it? So because it's kind of area, you cannot just use the linear sense, right? So we are going to say, okay, each one is like a square, basic one. If I 1 foot here, 1 foot here, that would be what? A square. So we will say it's a 1 square foot or 1 foot square, like that. Okay? If you have a table 5 feet here, 3 feet here, what do? Look at that. Okay? If we split to all the square things, how many squares we have? 5 and 3, end up 15, right? How did you get a 15? 5 times 3. So the way to measure a rectangle, that would be what? Your length times width, okay? So your area would be the length times width. Then another thing we talk about is called perimeter. It means what? Oh, this is the perimeter, the limit, the boundary of the rectangle, right? So, what do you think? The perimeter, how long you will do it around the surrounding? That's what it means, right? So, if it's a rectangle, this one will be L, this one will be what? W. Same on the both sides, right? And if you look at your room around you, how many rectangular shaped things are there? Everywhere. Your ceiling, your windows, right? The board here. So if we measure it, then perimeter would be what? 2 of those length and 2 of those width, right? So that's how we calculate that. Then how about triangle? What do you think? Triangle would be what? Is that half of the rectangle, right? So the area should be, we say this is a base times height, right? So if I have 3 sides for this shape, then A, B, then this side we call it C. Okay, then that's C. Area would be what? Half of a base times height would be half of AB, right? Then for right triangle, things like this, right triangle, which is very important for everything, for geometry, right? Because if we want to stand straight, then it has to be what? Right triangle, right? Otherwise your house will tilt. So everything is based on the right triangle. So this guy, Pythagoras, he developed this, he discovered this. For any triangle, right triangle, it has such characteristics, right? You have two sides. Then this one is called hypotenuse. So it will be a squared plus b squared equals what? C squared. This is an ever famous Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So we want to learn how to measure the right triangle and rectangles and to figure out the surrounding, we call it what? Perimeter or the area. See what kind of things we need to do. Take a look. The length, first one, the length of rectangle is 4 meters more than twice the width. The perimeter is 32 meters. Find the length and width. So we say we have a word problem. First, what do? We will identify things we needed with only one parameter, right? One variable. So what was the question? Find the length and width. Then sometimes we do a picture to help us to visualize, right? So we want to find the length and width, but we can only use one variable. So another one, we need two things, right? We need two things. We need length and width. Length and width. But we can only use one variable. How we are going to do that? Right? Because one you can just use as a variable, another one you needed has to relate to the first one, the variable you use. Okay? So here says the length is 4 meters more than twice the width. So if we make the width is W, the length is what? 4 feet more than twice the width. Okay, so twice, apparently it's a bigger, right? Twice, and 4 meters more. What do you think? How you are going to show the length with the W? So here is W, here is W, and 4 more. So that would be what? 2 of the W plus 4. Is that right? So first, we identify things we need with one variable. The next one, we say, write your equation. Equations say what? The perimeter is 32 meters. So total is 32. So something must be 32, right? What do you think? Perimeter is all around. So if this side is W, this side would be W. This side would be 2W plus 4. This side would be 2W plus 4, right? That's the rectangle. So perimeter means what? All around. So what do you have? You have W plus what? 2W plus 4 and another 2W plus 4 equals what? 32, right? Then we say third step is what? To solve it. Can we solve it? Is that a linear equation? Yes. Combine like terms. Total would be what? 6W plus 8 equals 32, right? Then you minus 8 on both sides. So that would be 6W equals what? 24. Then what's your W? Divided by 6, that would be 4. Then you have to describe what kind of things you are talking about. $4 for goats? No, for this case is what? 4 meters for what? For width, right? Because that's your W. Then what's your length? Because it asks us for both length and width. So what do you think? Length is twice that much and 4 more feet, right? 4 more meters. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 4 is what? 12 meters, right? So what do you think? If 12 here, 4 here, 4 here, 12 here, that's your rectangle, right? Then how do you know you are doing right? Because it says total is what? 32. If I add them up, 12 plus 12, 24, 28 plus 32. Right. So total would be 32 meters. Okay? So we practice the parameters. Say, okay, I have this 32 meters wire. Then I want to make the rectangle shape. So I can put my goat in there, right? And I like to have my length, it's twice as my width and 4 more meters. So what kind of design I will have? So first you describe things you like to have, then you figure out by doing your math. That's how you do. So first you identify things needed with one variable, then you write your equation, then you solve it with your algebra skills, right? You can do that. Look at the second one. So first we practice the parameter. So next one, we are going to practice the area, okay, for the rectangular shape. So here says the area of rectangular room is 168 square feet. So your area is counted by what? The square things, right? Because like your cell house, you say, oh, 1,000 square feet, 2,000 square feet, right? So if a room is that big, then if your length is what? 14 feet. Okay? Then what's your width? So if you ordered 168 square feet of tiles, you want to cover the whole area, right? Then you know you like to length is 14 feet. Then how far you can cover then for your width? What do you think? Then we say area is what? Length times width. Then your area is 168. Your length is 14. What do you think your width is? You'll have a linear equation, right? First we visualized, then we set our variable is W for our width. Then we write our equation, then we solve it, then divide by 14, so your W is what? 12 feet. That's how, far you can lay your tires. Okay? So we practice the what? Rectangular shapes. Then let's practice some triangles, okay, with the Pythagorean theorem, which is this one, very famous one. Okay, so if you have right triangle like this, one side is 4 units, 3 units, say 4 feet, 3 feet. And what do you think this side we'll call it slant side, we call it hypotenuse. Okay, so what do you think? How long that would be? According to this, 2 legs, so 3 square plus 4 square is supposed to be what? C square, right? So 3 square is what? 9 plus 16, which is 25 equals C square. What do you think your C is? Take a, which number multiplied twice is 25? That would be 5. That's how you find it. Right? If you look at this one, if you know one leg is 5, another slant side is 13, then what's your bottom would be? Okay, what do you think? So that's your B, right? A, B, C. Then A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So your 5 squared plus your B squared supposed to be what? 13 squared, right? Can we solve B? So that would be 25 plus B squared equals 13 times 13, 169. Then you minus 25. That would be B squared equals what? 144. What do you think your B is? Anything multiplied twice is 144. That would be 12. So the bottom length would be 12. So we also practice the what? Right triangle as well for the area, and area just half of the base times height, right? Then we practice the surrounding perimeter things all around for right triangle. Then we use this Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so that would be our section 3.4.